Hi, I'm Nick Best. I'm CEO here at Astranti, and I want to tell you my story. My story of 1994, me taking my final level exams. Back then we had to take 4 final level exams before we got qualified, and we had to take them at the same time. I passed 3, but I failed 1, and that one was the business strategy exam. Very similar to the strategic business leader exam that we have at the moment, similar to the case study exams at CIMA, for which I've become so well known. And what was it? I was determined to find out, why did I fail this exam? I'd not failed an exam all the way through my accountancy exams, all through my theoretical physics degree, all through all my school exams. Why did I fail this one? I moved courses. I went from BPP to what was the equivalent of financial training, which is now Kaplan, and had a fantastic tutor. What that tutor did that my BPP tutor did, what my BPP tutor did was he taught me all the business strategy models. He taught me all of the give a lot of practical business examples. It was entertaining, it was interesting. I knew how to apply Porter's 5 forces and Ansoff's matrix and all the other business models. I could do them really well. If I'd had a question, apply Porter's 5 forces to this model, I would have done brilliantly. But much like the strategic business leader exam, it wasn't like that. What they wanted you to do was to step back, be really practical, give really good business advice, and write an essay, which I wasn't very good at. I hadn't really written essays as a physicist. I hadn't really written many essays, even in the exams up to that point. Examining how you basically give good practical advice to that business. What my Kaplan tutor did was he broke down what it really took to pass the exam. And I went away, took his advice, practiced lots of mocks. And my mark went from 45% to 69%. And I converted myself from this person who was brilliant in all the numbers subjects, not surprisingly coming from a physics background, to someone who was really good at business subjects. 2 years later, I joined BPP as a tutor, and my passion ever since has been to share the knowledge that I gained right back then. And of course, over the last, 27 years as a tutor, I've really honed that knowledge to know, not just what I gained then, but what does it really, really take, working with thousands of students to actually pass these exams. And what does it take, particularly for people who, like me, failed and didn't quite know where they were going wrong, to actually get through. And what I want to do with you is just share with you a few of the top lessons that I've got for you. So, here's lesson number 1, structure. A huge mistake that I see with student scripts is you get asked a question, and the answer to that question is written out. Someone sits down, they go, oh, it's this question here, how advise the business, how to improve in a particular area, and off they go, and they start writing, and they've lots of different ideas, and another idea, and another idea, and there's a big long essay, and there's no structure to that essay. Because there's no structure, it's really, really hard to mark. Because the points aren't clear and distinct, it's really hard to give marks. I've spent many years actually through my career actually working with real exam markers and working with them on what it is that actually scores marks and what they want to see in your script that will help them to actually give you marks. And so I go back to my key point here, which is structure. In the planning phase, and yes, you should be doing a plan right at the start, particularly in a business strategy type subject, particularly in a case study where you've got to bring in information from the pre-scene and the new information that's given you in the exam. You've got to bring all of that in, and you've got to structure an answer. And what you need to do is you need to structure the answer around the mark scheme. You look at how many marks there are, you think how many points do I want to raise, and then you think what are those points? Let's say you've decided there are 5 points you want to raise. What are the top 5 points? And you only need brief bullet points to remind you, because you don't want to be spending too long planning, because in the end you need a really good answer. You need to make your points. But you're very, very clear on the points that you are going to make. What you're also going to do is you're going to plan each paragraph that you're going to write. You're not going to write in a big, broad, long way. You're going to write very, very clear, very, very structured. Every single paragraph is aiming to make a clear point that's going to get a clear mark. So that's the first thing, it's structure. I go back to my exam, very, very little structure in that very first exam. I was just writing and writing and writing, probably lots of reasonable ideas, probably too much theory, I would say. And here is the second point. The second point here is that we need to be really practical. We've been lucky enough to be working with ACCA recently on what they're really looking for in their answers. In this case study with the pre-scene, they want really practical answers. And what do we mean by practical? We are looking for what is a good solution to this company's problem. We're looking for someone who, this is the name of the exam, is the clue. Are you a strategic business leader? Could you be the CEO or the CFO on that board of directors, and you are faced with a problem in the business? And is your solution realistic? Is it practical? Would it work? The theories are there for background information, for background knowledge. They're there to help you analyze the situation, to come up with a good advice. If you're going to do a Porter's 5 Forces, then that's there to help you analyze the industry so that you can then advise what the best advice is. It's not a model for knowledge's sake. So that's my second piece of advice for you, is your solutions need to be really practical. Okay? Really practical. They need to work in the real world. Third thing is about writing. And I talked earlier about these big long scripts that people often write, lots and lots of writing, lots and lots of text. When you write very, very short, clear paragraphs, what you write needs to be very, very focused. Over the years, what I do with students is I will sit down with a student and go through their script, and time again when I'm marking scripts, I see a paragraph and I kind of go, well, when you actually read that word for word very, very carefully, it's on a particular subject, and I think they know what they wanted to say, but they're not actually saying it. And I'll sit with the student and say, well, what were you trying to say in this paragraph? Because when you read it, it doesn't really say anything, does it? And they read it and go, no, it actually doesn't, does it? Now I'm looking back on it. It doesn't really say anything. And they will then tell me, well, it's this and it's this and it's this. And I say, yes, that's the right answer. Write that. And I get them to write it out. And, when they've told me, and then when they write it out, clearly, focused, simple, they will get the mark. So they had the right answer here. It just didn't end up when they were typing on the screen, it didn't end up in their script. And that's the difference. The difference is how you write a paragraph, a short paragraph, which actually makes a point that will score a mark. Because when I'm looking at scripts, so many paragraphs I just can't give a mark for because the point isn't clear and it's not written in the right way. So, 3 points. Plan and get a structure. Plan around really practical answers. And then when you're writing, really clear points. And just write then as many points as you can to your structure, but as many paragraphs as you can. When you're in the exams, it should be a real race. You should use all the time you've got, write as many points down and as many paragraphs, separate points down. Because in the end, even with the best one, all the right exam technique, you will still write a paragraph that either your idea was off or the marker doesn't agree with it, or it's just not clear. And so you need to have enough points there, a big enough answer that your solution will work. So let me tell you another story, this time of a student. At this point, I'd been teaching maybe 7 years, and I'd really been thinking about the difference, the problem I had when I was taking my exams, and I'd now seen many, many students and the problems they had. And of course, every student's different. So yeah, what I had, the issues I had weren't the same as the issues that some other students that I was working with had. So I really honed what it took to pass. And this student came up to me at the end of a course. It was a live physical course, and he came up to me at the end and said to me, it was a tuition course. We'd just gone through all the theory. The revision course was to come later on. So we hadn't done too much of the practical stuff at this stage. And so he said to me, yeah, it was great recapping the theory again, but I've already done this course 4 times and failed, and my marks are getting worse every time. I've gone from 45%, the middle 2 attempts to the 30s, last time to 29%, and I'm getting worse. And the theory isn't my problem. And I don't know what I'm doing it means I'm not passing. So I said to him, look, why don't we work together one-to-one? You send a script in to me, I will review it. I will then give you guidance and advice on structure and the way you're approaching the exam to really work on you and improve that. So we started working together. He sent a script in. Immediately I could see he was making all the same problems I was doing and a whole load more, which is why he was only getting 29%. In fact, I could see why he was getting 29%. He'd basically become desperate. He was kind of writing anything and everything he knew on a particular topic in a desperate hope of getting a mark. He had really long answers, but I just couldn't give any of them marks because they weren't answering the question. They weren't structured. They weren't focused. They weren't clear. It was all over the place. So we worked together one-on-one. He then came on the revision course and we worked together then as well. He went from 29% to 69% through exam technique only. 40% improvement in his mark. And of course, he then went off. He went past all his other exams. He used the same techniques on all the other written exams that he had after that. And went off to become an accountant, qualified accountant. So there's many, many people who really know the theory, who they've tried and failed this exam, and they're just not quite sure where they're going wrong, or they need advice structuring that. I went on very soon after having worked with him actually to rewrite the BPP study text on their case study. CIMA have had a pre-scene analysis and a case study exam based on that pre-scene, very much like the current SBL, for over 20 years. In 2009, CIMA realized that their study text was too theoretical and people were really struggling that were using it. They asked me to rewrite it in a really practical way, which I did. So I wrote their official study text, bringing all of that knowledge to bear. And I then went on, set up Astranti actually the year after that. And we spent many, many years focusing on the CIMA case study and what it took to pass that exam, became very, very renowned for that. I was carrying on actually teaching all the ACCA subjects at the time before Astranti became too big, and now just run Astranti. But what we are focused on is what it takes to pass particularly case studies, particularly practical business subjects. All of that knowledge I've used then, we have now used. We've had tens of thousands of people actually on courses where we've worked with them very, very closely. We've had over 120,000 people who have used all our materials, because I write all the materials to show people how to apply all of this to their exams. So, and we've had over 600 Trustpilot reviews. The average rating is 4.8. Take a look and you'll see just the happy students actually that have used all of these techniques to help them to pass. And we've got an SBL, Strategic Business Leader course for you that basically has got the recap of the main theory, but the bulk of it is about mock exam practice, it's about exam technique, it's about what it really, really takes to pass the exam. We've been really lucky that in the last year to work really closely with ACCA on actually the difference between CIMA case study and SBL, because there is a difference. So most of the principles are the same, but they do want something a bit different with the ACCA compared to CIMA. So what we've done is we've adapted everything for the SBL exam to really focus on what it takes to pass SBL. And that is what we have for you. We have a course for you that my hope is if you're a resetter, you failed last time round, we'll be able to use all those techniques to get you through. We are experts in doing that. The other type of person that our course is for is people that have already studied the theory. Maybe you've read a study text or you've been on a theory course. You know the theory. Now you want to know what it really takes to pass. So like a revision phase exam. The course is perfect for people in that revision phase. So if that's you, and if you really want to know what it takes to pass, and you want our help and my team's help that I've trained to actually give you all of the support you need, if you want that, then we've got the course for you. Come along on our course, and hopefully we'll help you to get through. But if that's not you, then you've got already on a course with someone else, or you're self-studying. Think about those three things. Think about structure, a structure around the question. So you're answering the question with a very, very clear structure. Think about a really practical answer that is the solution to the business. It's not the theory. Think about writing clear, structured points in short paragraphs, written with very, very clear sentences. So you make a very, very clear point to get a mark each time. You do those three things and you will pass off your own back. Whichever way you are doing, if you're self-studying, working with another provider, working with us, all I can say is I just really wish you the best of luck going forward. And, not just actually best of luck in this exam, but the best of luck in your career. Because I know when I passed, that was my final exam that I failed. And since I passed, it gave the qualification gave me the security to be able to do whatever else I wanted, to be an entrepreneur that I have been through much of my last 15 years. Knowing I always had qualified accountant, safe, solid job behind me. I could always be a tutor, which is of course where I've spent the most of my career. And I'd always earn a good wage because I had that qualification. It's given me that. And I don't know what it is for you that makes the big difference for you. I don't know if it's salary, it's security, it's just pass and the pride of doing that, which I know is so important for so many people. My hope is that we can support you to do that, and that you go through and you have, the great career that I've been able to have. And I wish you the best of luck in this exam, the best of luck through your career as a whole. And